Hello, BookTube. To my surprise, a fairly robust second mail delivery today. Not only is it the afternoon before a national holiday when I'd expect everybody to be sort of fading and leaving work early, but it's also hot. It's refreshingly warm outside, and it might be refreshing for me because I can't ever seem to get warm anymore, but it's not refreshing if you're a mail truck driver out and about in the hot sun all day. And yet we got a bunch more packages, so let's go through them and see what we have here. The bean is in this room. She's down on the floor. She's extremely wilted by this heat. Sorry for the huge amount of bother, but it's one of these adhesive boxes. You can see from the sheen the inside of the box is adhesive, so it's not just a question of opening the envelope. You also have to tear it to shreds and peel the insides out of the outsides in order to rescue the book. And you also have to turn it into confetti because the pieces themselves will stick to anything at all. But oh, fantastic! Oh, great! All right, we've already seen this book. This is a July release. This was on my July TBR BY, my To Be Read by You. This is Debbie Macomber, Window on the Bay. And there is our author. And let's see here. Jenna Bolt's life is at a crossroads. After a messy divorce from her surgeon husband nearly 20 years ago, she raised 2 children on her own, juggling motherhood with her beloved job as a Seattle intensive care nurse. Now that Paul and Allie have gone to college and moved out, Jenna can't help but wonder what her future holds. Her best friend Maureen is excited for Jenna's newfound independence. Now is the perfect time to finally book the trip to Paris they've been dreaming about for years. But when it comes to life's other great adventure, dating, Jenna still isn't sure she's ready to let love in until an unexpected encounter begins to change her mind. When Jenna's elderly mother breaks her hip, Dr. Rowan Lancaster saves the day. Despite his silent, stoic exterior, Rowan is immediately smitten with Jenna. And even though Jenna is hesitant about becoming involved with another surgeon, she has to admit that she's more than a little intrigued. And you've got the mother, you've got the children, you've got her friends, you've got her own wary heart. It's just classic Debbie Macomber territory. It's just a delightful book. There won't be anybody, no eyeballs gouged out, no Trump rage. No, nothing like that. It's just her novels are just delightful. They're just delightful stories, and you can almost certainly count on a kind of happy ending. It's sometimes not the one you're expecting, but boy oh boy, there are days when nothing but a Debbie Macomber book will really hit the spot, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? As we've covered on this channel before, there is no wrong way to read. So let's see what this next one is. We've got all cardboard here. Here, let's take the super adhesive Spider-Man strips of the old and put it in the new. There we go. Okay, this is, I think, an August book as well. Yes, this is an August book. This is Martin Whittock, and this is Mayflower Lives, Pilgrims in the New World and the Early American Experience. So we're getting that Puritans book later in the year, and now we have this one coming up right around the corner. I've had an advance copy of this and have not got to it. I really need to do that. I'm glad to have the finished copy, though. We don't have any manila envelopes here. No boxes, but they're all cardboard. Everything is cardboard. So let's see what this next one is. Okay. All right. Okay. Is this also an August release? Yes, it is. Okay. This is Emma Southon. And I think we might have seen this already. This is her biography of Agrippina, the most extraordinary woman in the Roman world. And this is, some of you will know the story of Agrippina, at least in outline. This is outline. It's about all you can do. Biography is going to be ambitious. In her own time, she was recognized as a woman of unparalleled power. Beautiful and intelligent, she was portrayed as alternately a ruthless murderer and a helpless victim, the most loving mother and the most powerful woman in the Roman Empire, using sex, motherhood, manipulation, and violence to get her way, single-minded in her pursuit of power for herself and her son Nero. This book masterfully follows its subject as a daughter born in Cologne to the expected heir of Augustus's throne, as a sister to Caligula, who raped his sisters and showered them with honors until they attempted rebellion against him and were exiled, and as a seductive niece and then wife to the Emperor Claudius, who gave her access to near unlimited power, and then finally as mother to Nero, who adored her until he had her assassinated. Through senatorial political intrigue, assassination attempts, and exile on a small island to the heights of imperial power, thrones, golden cloaks, and games and adoration, Agrippina scaled the absolute limits of female power in Rome. Her biography is also the story of the first Roman imperial family, the Julio-Claudians, and of the glory and corruption of the empire itself. Okay. Okay. That cover is something, huh? That is, believe it or not, that is not my beloved Lawrence Alma Tadema. It's very much in his style. His style was very much ruled the day, but that is not him. That is, and that is not Agrippina. I should point out that this is a painting by an artist named Ettore Forti, and almost nothing is known about Ettore Forti. This painting of his, if I remember correctly, merely calls that woman a Roman queen. A very anachronistic term, a weird term. But then these kinds of gauzy historical things, lots of flowers, lots of faded afternoon light. This was a fad that Alma Tadema started, he didn't start it all by himself. Of course, he inherited it from other artists, but he made it worldwide. He made it extremely lucrative, and the artist who is sketchily known as Ettore Forti very much capitalized on that with a whole bunch of Alma Tadema-esque paintings. There we have Agrippina herself on the back. I can't believe that. Why would you do that when Lawrence Alma Tadema actually has a painting of Agrippina herself? That is, if you're going to use, a Victorian Edwardian painting that gauzes and romanticizes Roman history, why not use one that's better than this and that's actually about your subject? That's odd. I wonder if okay. All right. The cover, the dust jacket credit says that the cover image is by Bridgman Images. That is not by Bridgman Images. That is something like Procession of a Roman Queen. I forget what the exact name of it is. By Ettore Forti, who signed it, I'm sure. Yeah. That signature does not say Bridgman Images. So I don't know what that's all about. But one way or another, just don't mind me. I'm defensive of my beloved Alma Tadema. But this will do just fine. I am not, in fact, going to judge the book by its cover. So that's great. I'll dig right into it. Now that I have the hardcover, I'll just dig right into it. There is long-time viewers of this channel will know how to take this next comment. Newcomers may not. To those newcomers, I want to stress, I have a lovely puppy. I am a generous, friendly person. I am a jolly old person. I am not the kind of jerk who just says this sort of stuff and doesn't mean it. Longtime viewers of this channel won't have a problem when I say there isn't anything about Agrippina that I don't know. So the whole point of this book, as opposed to, for instance, this book, the whole point of this book will be the job that Emma Southon does assembling and managing and thinking about her sources. That's the whole job that this book will have to do. This book will not be telling me anything. And the only thing it can do in terms of factual accuracy is to disappoint me by getting things wrong. That's the only thing it can do. So who is she then? I guess we have to know. She is a PhD in ancient history from the University of Birmingham in England and researches subjects of sex, the family, gender, and religion. She holds a long-running obsession with the bad guys of the Roman Empire. It's okay. Wow, she's picked the right subject then. All right, because so did Agrippina. All right, great. So that's another. I wonder if we're going to have all finished copies this time around. Wouldn't that be something? When's the last time that happened? Maybe a while ago. Okay, this next one is a finished copy. This is by Susan Ashline, and it is called Without a Prayer, The Death of Lucas Leonard and How One Church Became a Cult. Don't know this at all. Teenager Lucas Leonard made shocking admissions in front of the altar. he'd practiced witchcraft and conspired to murder his parents, among other horrific crimes. The confession earned him a brutal beating by a gang of angry church members, including his parents and sister. Lucas arrived at the hospital dead, awakening the sleepy community of Chadwick's, New York, to the horror that had been lurking next door. 9 members of Lucas's church would eventually find themselves facing murder-related charges. This is a real story that I've just missed. But how did they get to that point, and what made Lucas confess? The full story has never been told until now. In Without a Prayer, Emmy-nominated journalist Susan Ashline delves deep into Leonard family history, the darkness within the Word of Life Christian Church, and what led Lucas, his family, and his community to that fateful night. Good Lord. Okay, this is an August release. Tell me, those of you who know, some of you must know this story. I missed it completely. Killed on an altar by his parents? That's some Old Testament stuff, dude. I want to know more about this. I guess now I have the ultimate source to find out. And then we have the last of the packages. This could be a completely finished copy mail haul. Because this one feels like a finished copy. Let's see. Oh, it is. It is a finished copy. All right, this is another August book. Yes, these are all August books. Are they all from the same publisher? No, they can't be. They can't be. This is Paul Strathern. This is the Borges, his new book about the Borges. I have the advanced copy once again. I have not read it. This is just a series of kicks in the behind because I will need to get to all of these probably this long weekend. Most of them anyway. This long weekend. The Debbie Maycomber I've already read, but these other 4, fortunately none of them is long, so I can blast right through them. But this is from a distance anyway. It looks like just the normal Borgia family history, the normal thing these days. The Borgia family has become a byword for evil, and what the author is going to do in the course of this book is examine that and overturn it. Corruption, incest, ruthless megalomania, avarice, and vicious cruelty all have been associated with their name, and yet paradoxically this family lived when the Renaissance was coming into its full flowering in Italy. Examples of infamy flourished alongside some of the finest art produced in Western history. But this is one of several paradoxes associated with the Borgia family, which produced corrupt popes, depraved princes, and poisoners, and even a saint. Oh, maybe he's not going to overturn things. These paradoxes, which so characterize the Borgias, have seldom been examined in great detail. Yes, I barely heard of this family. Yes, these things have seldom been examined in great detail. It's about time somebody wrote a Borgia book. Previously, history has tended to condemn or attempt in part to exonerate this remarkable family, yet in order to understand the Borgias, much more is needed than evidence for and against. Well, okay. Evidence for Lucretia Borgia, who's exactly who you have in mind as a poisoner, would be great. If you can provide it, I'd love to see it. The Borgias must be related to their time, together with the world in which enabled them to flourish. Within this context, the Renaissance itself takes on a very different aspect. Was the corruption part of the creation, or vice versa? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Well, this author, I believe, wrote a book on the Medici. Yeah, he did. I'm wondering who'll be next. Will the House of Este? Nobody ever writes books on the House of Este. That's a shame. All right, well, the Borgias. So there you go. This was an entirely finished copy mail haul. So we have a history of the Borgias. We have Without a Prayer, a new book about a crime in New York that sounds horrific. I don't think I knew anything about it. A new book about Agrippina, a new biography of Agrippina. A new book called Mayflower Lives, and Window on the Bay by Debbie Maycomber. So aside from the Debbie Maycomber, which is it's a little too early for me to be rereading it, much though I loved it, I'll wait for the paperback to reread it. But other than that, I have my work cut out for me, so I will get right to it. But I will be back. We have other bookish stuff to talk about, so I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.